Dadaji Shri Dilipkumar Roy was totally devastated when Shri Aurobindo left his body on 5th December 1950. He felt it very difficult to stay at Shri Aurobindo Ashram. Others in the ashram tried to console him by saying that Shri Aurobindo had not left the ashram and he is there with his devotees. Dadaji's reply was that until he experiences that, he can't believe. Around this time, in 1952, he was informed by the government of India that they wanted to send him and Ma Indira Devi on a world tour as the cultural ambassadors of India. Dadaji happily accepted this offer. Dadaji writes about what happened after they came back to India.
I was in Shri Aurobindo Ashram in Pondicherry from 22nd November 1928 to 2nd December 1952. From there, we went to Madras, Bombay, Delhi. 2 berths were reserved to fly to Japan on 4th January 1953. 2 days before departure, Indira heard a voice saying not to go on that day. To avoid any problem, with great difficulty, we rebooked our berths for 8th January. Reaching Hong Kong, I read in the newspaper that the plane of 4th January was about to crash, but somehow managed to land near Bangkok. We thanked the voice that warned us. Now the time for us was to travel. Traveling for 8 months, our world tour ended on 26th August 1953 when the plane landed in the morning at Bombay Airport. Then we went to Pune on 29th as guests of our dear friend, late Sir Chunilal Mehta. It was decided that we will stay in the cottage next to his palatial bungalow. We won't have to pay any rent. In this cottage, named Dunlavin Cottage, we stayed for a long time, till 18th January 1959. Soon we established sort of a small ashram there with the help of some devotees and seekers. I named it Hari Krishna Mandir. Every evening there used to be sessions of devotional songs. Many liked to hear commentaries on Bhagavat and Gita.
Ma Indira Devi was eager to install an image of Krishna in the mandir. It happened soon and Dadaji writes about it.
First thing that I want to tell is about the installation of the image of Krishna to carry on our daily worshipping. I myself am not fond of temples. I am a devotee of Mother Ganges. Try not to go to any temple. I get overwhelmed by the name of Mother Ganges and by taking a bath in the Ganges. I get divine inspiration only in the room of Sri Ramakrishna at Dakshineshwar, because whenever I sit down to meditate there, my whole being gets flooded with devotion. I love to worship Mother Ganges at Haridwar and Dakshineshwar. But Indira wanted to get an image of Krishna and turn our dilapidated cottage into a temple by making the image living. She had seen through her third eye that Hari Krishna Mandir will be established in Pune only. So, she wanted to start the process by installing the image of Krishna in my bedroom. But we could not find any beautiful image in Pune, Calcutta or Allahabad. I thought we may go to Benares to look for a marble image of Krishna. Fortunately, our dear friend Sir C.P. Ramasamy Iyer was the Vice Chancellor of Benares Hindu University at that time. He happily welcomed us there as his guest. There, Professor Yagnik took us to different shops selling images. Searching a great deal for 2 days, we found a beautiful image of Krishna, but the shop owner, after some bargaining, came down to 350. We had to come back because at that time we were not in a position to pay 350. While returning, Indira had tears in her eyes in the train. After returning to Pune, I sent a telegram to Professor Yagnik to buy the image. He replied saying that he has bought the image for rupees 320 and has left it at Sir C.P.'s house. Sitting at one corner of the veranda, I was writing the book Aghatan Aajo Ghate. Nearby, Sir Chunilal was talking to Indira. Opening Professor Yagnik's telegram, I told Indira that the image has been bought. Hearing this, Indira came running to me, snatched the telegram from my hand, and while browsing it, she started swaying. She went into a Sabikalpa Samadhi. 2 strips of tears were flowing down from her closed eyes. What a beautiful sight it was. After about 15 minutes, she became conscious and said in a choked voice, "Thakur, Thakur." I knew she had a vision of the Lord. The next problem was how to bring the Lord to Pune. I wrote to one of our Punjabi well-wisher, Seth Ranjit Singh in Lucknow. In reply, he sent us a telegram. Tomorrow I am going to Benares for some work. I will collect the image from Sir C.P. and will carry it myself all the way to Pune. This friend of ours reached Pune on my birthday, 22nd January 1955. Intellectuals will say it was a coincidence that the Lord came to our dilapidated house on my birthday. But Indira said smiling, "No, this is called grace." I remembered Shri Aurobindo's words in Savitri. This world is not built with random bricks of chance. A blind God is not destiny's architect. A conscious power has drawn the plan of life. There is meaning in each carven line.
One of the reasons behind Dadaji's coming to Pune was that he wanted a secluded place to settle down and continue doing his sadhana. But nobody can stop bees from coming when the flower blooms. Within a short time of Dadaji's coming to stay at Dunlavin Cottage, not only his admirers but also many eminent people started visiting him. The famous saint from Krishnanagar, Papa Ramdas, came along with his disciple Mother Krishna Bai and stayed with Dadaji and Ma for a few days. Dadaji was very fond of him and used to say that Papa's inspirations helped him a lot in his sadhana. The famous friend of Yogi Shri Krishna Prem, Sir Paul Dukes, had also been Dadaji's guest. Dadaji writes about times and life in Dunlavin Cottage.
The Lord gave us a Mahaprasad on the 14th August 1954, the Raksha Bandhan day, for the first time. It happened again on the 21st August on the auspicious day of Janmashtami. Then the bad times set in. Indira started having severe attacks of asthma accompanied by vomiting blood. She was on the verge of death on 6th September night. At midnight, she said in a feeble voice, "I won't be there tomorrow morning." I prayed with tears in my eyes, "Lord, give her shelter at your feet, thy will be done." Then the miracle happened. She heard something and had a vision. Her condition took a turn. She started getting better, though the recovery was slow. After a few days, we started singing bhajans regularly. Luckily, there was a hall at Dunlavin Cottage. Every evening, we used to spread mats for the devotees. Initially, 4 or 5 devotees used to come, but the number started increasing gradually. Though facing poverty, we kept maintaining this routine. Indira used to cook and dictate songs heard in Samadhi. At times, she dictated 4 or 5 songs in a day. On 15th August 1957, birthday of Gurudev, she dictated 11 songs. Though we were not in extreme distress, we were not at all comfortable at Sir Chunilal's rat-infested half-broken cottage. Especially when it rained, water dripped in every room except my bedroom. The gaps between the broken tiles used to call cordially, "Welcome the Indian Niagara Falls." Human nature is really strange. Sir Chunilal didn't want to spend a single penny for repairs, though he was very devoted to Indira. Then we found a nice piece of land to build the temple. Construction of the temple started in April 1958 and was completed in January 1959.
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare.
We put the Lord on a palanquin and carried him on the head, brought him to Hari Krishna Mandir, singing Lord's name all the way.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare.
We were walking, accompanying the Lord, our eternal friend and guide. On the way, Indira danced beautifully, raising both the hands. People gathered on both sides of the road to watch.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare.
Some ran towards her to touch her feet. At times, she went into Bhav Samadhi. As soon as she became conscious, she started dancing again.
Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare.
We entered our new temple 3 days before my birthday with great pageantry. While entering, Indira carried the image into the temple hall, singing Hari Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Krishna Hare Hare.
It is true that the Lord tests His devotees, but at the same time He showers His grace on them also. That's why our temple got built as if by some miraculous magic. Only it didn't happen in Haridwar, but in Pune. Not on a highway, but on a public road, which was later named Hari Krishna Mandir path.
The temple was built, but no Krishna temple is complete without Ma Radharani by his side. Dadaji has narrated the story of her arrival thus.
According to Indira's plan, a beautiful altar was built in the temple hall. Krishna was placed at the center, Shiva and Mother Bhavani being on his both sides. But we could not find any elegant and beautiful image of Radharani anywhere. She came in Indira's meditation and said, "You will find me in Jaipur." But is it easy to go to Jaipur? I started praying to Radharani. A miracle happened again. China attacked India in 1962. Immediately, I got a telephone call from Delhi of Pandit Nehru saying I have to sing patriotic songs on All India Radio. We went to Delhi and from there to Jaipur. There I collected some money for our soldiers by singing. But the most fortunate thing was that we found a beautiful marble image of Radharani there.
After coming to the new temple, Ma took to beautifying the temple all around. In the temple hall, she got 2 small altars on either side of the main altar. Images of Ganesha and Hanumanji were placed there. She adorned the walls with pictures of Jesus Christ, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Guru Nanak, Shri Aurobindo, Ramana Maharshi, Shri Ramakrishna Paramhans and Ma Sharda Mani. A beautifully designed garden was laid around the temple. 2 rock temples were built using burnt bricks in front of the temple hall and main building. 2 similar temples were built even in the garden. A water tank was built behind the main building where Dadaji loved to take a bath. A few incidents that happened during this time are worth mentioning. A few days after Dadaji and Ma came to the mandir, Ma saw a little girl in her meditation, crying and telling her, "You have forgotten me." Ma asked, "Who are you, mother?" She said, "I am Tulsi." Ma remembered the Tulsi plant at Dunlavin Cottage, sent someone to bring it and placed it in front of the temple hall. One day, Ma went to meditate in the temple hall when she heard someone knocking at the door. As she opened the door, she saw Sai Baba of Shirdi standing there. Sai Baba asked, "Fakir ki jagah kahan hai?" and disappeared. Ma got an image of Sai Baba and placed it in the rock temple close to the main gate. Yet another miracle was when Ma brought a huge dry piece of the trunk of an uprooted tree that was lying on the roadside in nearby agriculture college and placed it on the concrete path in front of the temple building. Surprisingly, it came to life after some time. It is a banyan tree which continues to flourish to this day. The divine grace that touched Hari Krishna Mandir through Dadaji's and Ma's sadhana drew many saintly people and eminent persons to its doors. Revered Bharat Maharaj from Shri Ramakrishna Mission, Thakur Shri Sitaram Das Omkarnath, Anand Mai Ma, Sant Gulab Singh from Punjab and Sant Guru Dayal Malik made it a point to meet Dadaji and Ma whenever in Pune. The then President of India, Dr. Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan, also visited the temple. The famous singer Srimati M.S. Subbulakshmi came and stayed in the temple to learn bhajans from Dadaji. Dadaji Shri Dilipkumar Roy left his body in the afternoon of 6th January 1980 in Bombay. The next day, his body was brought to Pune and, as per Ma's wish, was cremated on the lawn in front of the temple hall. The ashes were collected on the next day in a copper vessel and placed on the main altar under the images of Radha and Krishna. Later, Ma got a marble platform made on the lawn, on the spot where he was cremated, in order to protect its sanctity. Ma left her body on 31st December 1997. Her body had to be cremated in the Vaikunth crematorium since permission was not obtained to do the same in the temple premises. The ashes were collected the next day and placed on the main altar in the temple under the image of Ma Bhavani. After a few years, a marble memorial was built in front of the main building adjacent to Dadaji's Samadhi.